Hello and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 3 and Black Ice version 12. And where we left off, we were playing as Sweden, and we have gone a little bit in advance of that. I've released Iceland, and I do have some submarines ready. Now, there was an opportunity to get involved with the Winter War a little bit earlier. However, I have not done that, just because we weren't ready to kind of get involved. Now, I've not been able to join the Axis yet. I am, we are trying to align towards them, but it's really tough going, to be honest with you. It's extremely slow, and I'm considering what we should do next. To be honest with you, I am considering an expansion towards Ireland, but I kind of feel like we might need landing craft before that will be possible. So we're going to get going with that and kind of kick that into gear. Now, the Soviets are about to be attacked by Germany, and that's the main reason why I've started recording, because I thought it would be quite fun to watch this at the start here and see how they react, because we've not lost any of the Baltic states, so we obviously took this at the right time before Germany kind of signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact with the Soviets, and therefore we've been able to maintain and keep all of this land. It's worthwhile remembering that, I guess, for other playthroughs, because that could have a bearing on how we decide to do things in the future. Now, yep, armor-piercing capped ammunition. I think we'll let that run. And we'll do high-density alloys as well, but we need to do the naval stuff, and we'll also need to do the transports in order to get towards our landing craft, because I think that's what we're really going to be missing. So, long-range submarines. Is there anything here that we want to do? No. Okay, so let's get transport ships going and improve that. Keep building on up, and yeah, there's the undeclared war. And the Soviets have brought themselves together. Let's see how the Germans do, because I am very, very intrigued. Now, it's the Soviet influence that is costing us a little bit. And, oh, we can quickly get rid of that. And yeah, let's attach you and get you transferred over. Okay, so you've got 4 divisions down there. I always feel like we want to just beef up our defenses just a tiny bit. Some falling back happening. The Germans have got some Italians on the front immediately, and they are making some pushes immediately, so very interested to see how this goes. Italy just lost 2 battleships, which is concerning for them. Okay, and if you can hear some noises in the background, my washing machine is going, and unfortunately, my little one-bed flat, I have to record sometimes at inopportune moments. The other thing I want to say as well is I'm sorry I've been gone for a little bit. I've had a really busy period at work, and unfortunately when that happens, something has to give, and normally it's this. So yeah, my apologies for that, but I really do try my best to balance everything, and sometimes, it's just one of those things, but yeah. There's been a lot going on, though, to be fair. Like, more widely in the kind of world and things. First of all, on the football side of things, Liverpool doing very good, which makes me very happy. Oh, okay. Topping the table so far this season, which, to be honest with you, I was not expecting. You lose a top-level manager in Jurgen Klopp, and you replace him with a manager that's done good things at Feyenoord. Arne Slot definitely had done, a decent job. My exposure to them had been in, the Conference League and things. I think West Ham actually played them a couple of seasons ago. But, from what I was aware of, they'd done well against, other teams in that division. And in the Conference League in Europe. So not a bad manager, but I wasn't expecting Liverpool to do what they've done. And they've just beaten Chelsea as well in the most recent game today. So that's something. Topping the table. So sometimes it is right for managers to step aside. And it kind of feels like Jurgen Klopp might have picked a good moment for him to kind of step aside a little bit. So I'm quite happy with that. How are we doing? So yeah, like we are definitely transiting much more closely towards them now. And do we want to bring all of our forces over? I kind of feel like we probably do. Okay, yeah, let's start the transport mission with all of you. Okay, and it did expand out into here, but it does look like that's been contained somewhat, so that's good. And yeah, on the 26th of August, we'll have some further troops organised. Okay, so both of you get your transport mission going. Yeah, and we've got about 200,000 troops that we could lend to help support the Germans if we do want to decide to join them. So that's something. Okay, let's move you over there. Yeah, let's move you to the north in this location. Yeah, let's have you go over there. Yeah, that seems good. Just get our units all organised. Yeah, like it. 47, okay. Could get a little bit more garrison organisation and do some of the artillery stuff and start getting that going. They want to give us crude oil. I don't want crude oil. Right, and then, yeah, let's just reorganize that a little bit. First Army's under Douglas, who is a decent commander. And then, yeah, let's move you on over to act as a supporting group. Okay, and the narrower front is working so far by the looks of it. How goes the 89 or 83? So we're getting there. They've moved on out. Right, submarine torpedo advance at 44, so very strong. Direct fire. Okay, and it feels like we have got most of our unit elements organized. Let's take all of this core and go over up here, and then let's take all of you and bring you over to there. Yeah, like so. And yeah, we'll get you attached up in a second. Right, assault concentration. 43 level. Just trying to improve our units as much as we feasibly can. That's the key. And, okay. Yeah, we'll go with this. The Commander one just to reduce the amount of time between attacks a little bit. We can build a new hospital. Submarine batteries. Okay, let's do some 42 level techs up here and get the ball rolling there. And under naval, yeah, if we get dual purpose guns, I think that unlocks some of the heavy guns for our destroyers and things. So that'll be worthwhile. Okay, and the Finns are pushing out. Interesting. I get next level of submarine class. Okay, it's August 5th. And I would say the push is going okay, but not brilliantly. Right, a little bit of broadcasting. Although they are definitely pushing out. Right, so I think Iceland, yep, let's build up your army. Just a little bit more. In fact, they've actually built a pretty substantial army in that short space of time. Exchange IC for resources. Nope, that's not worth it. Special operations, okay. Get the mass events going. There's a few laws we could get if we really wanted, but we're not going to push for it. Machine gun and mortars. Nope, that's good. Secretary of Public Information. Okay, and the push is still going. They just took Kiev. So getting over the river by the looks of it. Over the Don. And how goes our move? Yeah, we are slowly getting there. It shan't be long now. And yeah, you're at 83%. Or 86%, sorry. So yeah, not long, 26th. Okay, and yeah, we'll do another transport mission over there just to get that unit in. Logistical organization. Okay, home front, logistical warfare. Yeah, both of those are worthwhile. Okay, at the rate they're going, they're not going to need us. Which would be good. I won't complain. Right, artillery support at 43, sure. Supply organization and transport costs, both the combat medicine ones are always worthwhile. Okay, and we're further improving our units with a strength increase for this more kind of specialist unit, so that's good. And yeah, you know what, we'll let that go. And we'll do the casualty trickle back, because it does help when you're a bit of a manpower, you know, kind of hurt nation. You know, and although what I would say is we do have over 60 manpower, which is quite a lot considering. You know, or over, sorry, nearly 300 manpower, which isn't too bad. Like, we're fielding a relatively large army for that amount of manpower. What we're lacking is officers. Like, really lacking. Right, they're making their way through the marshes. The dead marshes. Okay, depth charge. 45. First aid. And now on to industry. That's good. Well, they've taken Crimea. I wonder if having a slightly smaller front has actually helped or hindered them. I'm going to go with helped, but I'm not certain. I mean, our troops could end up helping a fair amount. Let's take both of you and all of your units, and let's get you over here. And then let's also bring the 4th group along with you. And we'll attach you to the 4th Army. You're going to be the Home Defense Brigade. Yep, so 150,000 troops have been left there. That's good. And 10th Corps looking good over there. That's fine. And the reason we're going to do this is we're going to bring back some ski troops and things to defend the home islands. Because the allies could try some tricks, and I would rather that they didn't. And the best way to stop that is to have a couple of corps of troops ready and on hand. So we'll take you, and we'll rebase you out of here, and then we'll try and do a little bit of jiggery-pokery. And with the front getting smaller and smaller... Oh, there goes Iran. And us getting closer and closer to being able to join. A little bit slow maybe getting out of here. But closing in on Moscow, it's got to be said. Like 160,000 troops is no small amount. Right, so they want fuel for money, and normally I would bite their hand off at an agreement for that, but not gonna do that. Right, so they just got into the Great Patriotic War, September 8th. I would say, historically, this feels probably about right. Yeah, maybe about right. Difficult to tell. Okay, infantry unit training there. Submarine crew, yeah, okay. Steel armor casting, no problemo. There's a 42 there for radios and for that one. We can get active sonar for submarines. That would help them a little bit in identifying units to fight. And you know what? We will probably do that. So let's get that going. A couple of construction texts. Especially anything that helps with our manpower. Like I say, that's probably the one area that we struggle, even though we look like we've got a lot. That will burn quite quickly in a war environment. Okay, we can load up more than I thought. Right, let's bring them to Oslo. Okay, yeah, and they're pushing into the more difficult terrain up here now. Some of the swamps and things. I would have to say that this kind of feels like maybe it's working out. I mean, there could even be a little bit of a pocket forming around Bryansk here, to be honest. They've probably got another month or so of decent weather before the winter hits in, because normally that's kind of like November when they get the winter offensive. And that doesn't always stop the German AI, but sometimes it does. Yeah, okay, slowly getting there. Kind of being forded by the river here. But they are closing this off. I would love to see what's happening. Okay, let's put another unit in there. And yeah, bring those last two remaining ones over. So there's like the little Chorzy gap here, the Bryansk gap. Starting to close in. Making a couple of fight backs up here in the north. But they did close that off. Right, transport ship hull. Yeah, we can let that run. The trade introduction. Yep, unrestricted submarine warfare. We'll go for that. You know, some of the terrain up here is not necessarily helping them. But if we were to get our units involved, that might turn the tide a little bit. You know, another 20 divisions or so could be what's needed. Okay, so they've taken Kharkov, Stalano, Rostavna. Yeah, okay, they're getting there. So there's like this little annoying like grouping here and right in the center of the line, but alright, you want to let me join? 47. It's not long now. Okay, yeah, load of text just finished there. Yeah, and anything that can help improve our infantry ahead of time is worthwhile doing. Okay, and yeah, we'll send Hamilton north. But we will no leader all of his units and make sure that all of our leaders are in an active combat front. That seems like the most logical solution with what is a very small amount of leaders. Okay, so, and then, yeah, we'll attach you. We'll no leader you, and we'll bring you over as well. Do a transport mission. That should help. Right, so 1st Army has a commander. 12th Corps and the 10th Corps don't know.
So we can put Hamilton in there. And we can put, yeah, Grenanock in there. That's fine. Let's give you, and you all commanders. Because nearly everyone down there has a commander. We're only lacking 3 commanders now, so not many. The great commander rationing. Okay, and I can see they're actually maybe going to seal this off like further north, which would be quite something. And yeah, if you could deal with the little splodge down there, that would be great. They are closing in on Moscow. They're what? 170, 164, 159 kilometers from Moscow, so they're getting there. But their advance has slowed considerably. But they've got another little pocket down here by the looks of it. And they're closing in on Rostov. They're literally on the outskirts. Okay, and how do we feel? 35. So, maybe next month? Okay, and they did close this off. So, Osnovitz. Okay, so there is still a crossing here to here, but it's very small. So surrounding Leningrad looks like it's definitely on the table. Okay, yeah, let's move you into position over here. We just want to support, if we can, all of our ports with some divisions, because if the Allies are going to do anything, they're going to land in asinine, dumb places. And that's no good for any of us. Just need to try and defend our rather long coastline with as many Swedish heroic volunteers as we can. Okay, they did take Sestoresk, which is interesting. And yeah, the advance into the Soviet Union continues unabated. Now, if they can surround Moscow, they will do no amount of good. Well, there we go. Right. So, interesting. So our units have just seen the fronts around them, which is quite something. There's another little pocket down there that's being dealt with. They're on the outskirts of Kursk, Orel, and Tula. They're not that far off now from Moscow. They're 100 kilometers. 139 there, 122. So, yeah, the advance is continuing. I know I'm just putting a little bit into supply at the moment, and on the face of it, I don't need to. You'd be completely correct. Do I need to do something else with that? Could I build some long-range submarines? I guess I could. I could also build some more basic submarines, because our submarine program has been very expansive. Nationalize the private sector, expand our heavy industry. The Littorio is lost, so the naval war isn't going too well. In fact, the Brits are doing what the Brits do sometimes and absolutely smashing up the Italians. Great. Assault weapons, yeah. Okay, any more commanders? No. I mean, why would there be? So, Day of Infamy. So, Japan has just attacked. Brilliant. And still 35. Okay, and yeah, there's a little tiny Leningrad-based pocket that's formed over here, which is good. Right, the Germans might be starting to run out of steam now a little bit, although they're only 93 kilometers now from Moscow, so I could well be wrong on that. Okay, and Germany wants us to join them. Okay, so Afghanistan joined us, so we gained a huge amount of benefits from doing that. Let's put time to speed 4 for a second while we just take stock of everything that did for us. Because we're not currently... Okay, so we're not currently in the war. Yeah, just... currently a little bit outside of it. And I almost wonder if we should stay just kind of in the little mini axis that we find ourselves in for a second. So 9% IC efficiency. That's not bad. A little bit more leadership. Okay, so we can do some more research products or projects. Let's do both of these 32 level ones. Okay, the AFE weapons. Okay, and 8 officers feels about right. Yeah, we've got a lot of officers to deal with. Iraq has just joined the Axis. Enemy distribution wise. So yeah, they've caught a lot of units down there. They've cleaned up the little pocket that was here. They've made a tiny little breakthrough down there, which is good. Are our units all situated? I kind of would like... We don't need to join the war just yet, and if we have these 4 units, they could build out the defense of Denmark. It might be worthwhile. Let's hold off a second and think about this. So, yeah, you're a group, and you can be led by this person. We've got the 12th, which can take all of you. This Marine division I would rather not have, but we could move the Marine unit out, actually. Let's bring you over there. Yeah, so they've got a really large navy kind of bottled up here. Okay, and at speed 4 we can kind of see everything in a little bit more detail. Lots of Italians who, in my experience, just suck up supply. And I can see the Africa Corps. I mean, yeah, loads of weird amount of Italians everywhere. Interesting. Yeah, and we'll join in 42. So once this is a little bit more cleaned up, we could maybe consider joining in. I mean, the emphasis of our attack should probably be to help around Moscow in the short term, because they're going to have heaps of supply problems elsewhere. Like, just ridiculous amounts. But Although the Östersund, this crossing here probably will help a little bit. And it does look like their submarines are doing quite well. Like, interesting. Yep, so Iceland is mobilizing. It's relatively mighty forces. I mean, barring my one garrison unit that I've got stationed up there that's got some artillery and some other bits, there isn't that much going on there. And sure, thank you, Iceland, for donating some fuel. Always a pleasure. Okay, and if they can liquidate this, it'll make everything a bit easier. In fact, that is what we could start with. We could start with something small, like lending a hand there. Take our Swedish troops. And just start a relatively small incursion here. Yeah, I don't want to join the British war yet, but if you want me to join the Soviet one, I will quite happily do that. Take the medium fleet, take what we can. Home front, and yeah, we'll build a rubber plant. We've got the fuel for it, so why not? A little bit of wartime measures, let's go. Okay, intriguing. So we now find ourselves at war with the Soviet Union because we don't want to fight the Brits. They'll start landing troops everywhere, but a little bit of help with the Soviets? Yeah, we'll try and help you there. We now find our fate is tied to them. Okay, yeah, so Japan wants a trade agreement, but we won't do it right now. And yeah, there's a couple of really difficult nuts to try and crack over here. If they had all of these divisions freed up, it would help them a little bit. Right, off we go. Yeah, and our units are getting in. Right, yeah. Our units are fairly well organized. So we can do legalistic restrictions, and we will do that. And we can go over to 3-year draft, probably worthwhile. Let's get total economic mobilization. Heavy industry emphasis. We will go on to censored press. And we have got normal conscription, so we'll keep those in place. And then we'll see what happens to our IC after that. Okay, and 29th. Okay. And yay, some more auxiliary vessels. So whilst these aren't the greatest, they will help somewhat with keeping our units together. Oh, I didn't mean to do that there. If we need to ever do an evacuation from our Balkan holdings, it'll be these little ships that we'll rely upon. Right, and there's a little bit of reinforcement going on. Let's get those auxiliary vessels out. Okay, we got them in. So yeah, it's just you now, and I wonder if we were to go for an attack there. No, it's the answer. That's a big fat no. Nil point. But we can at least keep them sheltered in while all the other forces that Germany has go onwards and upwards. We might even be able to... I mean, there's a lot of units in there. Holy shit. Like... Right, off you go. Right, yeah, hit that tank division, please. Save coal for the cause. We don't need to do that. Scrap metal, though. Thank you. Okay, and we do have some fighters. So we can do a little bit of air superiority over all of this mess. And then we can use our own bombers to do a little bit of ground attack. Yep, okay. Right, don't need to do food rationing. Support attack there. How goes our defensive stats? Oh, pretty good. Not great, but usable. And our planes seem to be doing the job as well, which is very gratifying. It's a good job we built this little light bomber force. Attempting a little push. Okay. And, oh, there is somewhat of a link-up happening down there in the kind of Crimean area. That's something. Pull them together. And then, yeah, let's take some of these units, actually, and move them down there to just seal up this hole that's been created. And on the defense, our units seem to be doing okay. None of that, please. And, yep, another couple of auxiliary vessels. Another submarine. And, yeah, some more ski troops. So we'll put some of those down there. Motorized units, or our ski units, should hopefully outrun this motorized unit into the woods. And the answer to that question looks to be a pretty solid yes. So that's good. Okay, and this never-ending battle seems to be going our way. Always difficult to tell with these kind of weird battles that seem to just drag on and on and on. Okay, that's at 41. We'll leave that at 36, but does that open up? It does open up the heavy anti-air guns, so happy days. Okay, we just knocked that back. If they can take that port, all of these units will be like, effectively disorganized. Which would be great. Motorized unit looks like it's about to be beaten back by Totty. I've heard he's kind of hot. One might say he's hot Totty. Sorry, that the word Totty in old UK jargon is like a girl who's fit. Like, yeah. Terrible. I know. Britishisms are sometimes the most painful thing imaginable. Right, Catachina. Okay, interesting. Kind of thinking I want to maybe just move a unit of you out, to be honest. So that motorized division ain't doing too hot. That one's broken back a little bit as well. Okay, so Voloshovgrad, or however the hell you pronounce that. Okay, there's a little bit of like an annoying little pushback happening here, just outside the gates of Moscow. And that's pretty well organized there. We can beat this back. This battle is not going our way. Like, it's on good terrain. Like, it should be good for our units. Not like this. I guess it's somewhat difficult when you're not getting any support. You know, just the never-ending Battle of Leningrad. Troop ship hull. 1940, I guess. There is the Marine unit that I did kind of move away. I mean, there are some Italians making their way over to help, so that's actually more than I was expecting. So can you beat back that tank unit? Let's bring you over there. Right, come on, in you go, Italians. Help stabilize the line. There we go. That's more like it. Right, so we're about to beat this unit back, so that's good. That's more like it. Love it. Okay, and then, yeah, you can go over to Tallinn. And it's a lot of IC. Right, we've got a counterattack on the way, maybe. There's something going on the front. That ain't so good. Alright, so you've been dealt with. We are bleeding the Soviets quite hard in these battles. All of their divisions are taking losses. But it's frustrating because they're attacking us like one at a time. The moldy attack structure. Well, that was just Estonian nationalists. Unacceptable. Right, another ski division, which we can just put over here. Protect our flanks. And I think I will call it an episode there. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. And I look forward to seeing the next episode of Hearts of Iron 3 and the Sweden campaign. Thanks again. Bye-bye.